Ah, just when I think things can't get more emotional and challenging, adversity slaps me in the face. Um, I need advice, like, really badly. Uh, as far as I know, I'm the only single male foster parent who's ever been licensed. I was a home care provider for years with this other young man, and when me and my girlfriend separated, she wanted to keep living in the house and working with the young man, so I moved on and I went out to California, came back. Long story short, I was living at my mom's on the floor, and I went up to the mental health agency that I used to work for and asked if they needed help. So I started working in the crisis bed, and I would literally basically just sleep there. And they wanted me to get a client. They knew I was good at it, and the, one of the gentlemen eventually asked me like what kind of client I'd like, and I told them a young individual with hopefully not much parental involvement, because the parents are often, my opinion, a lot of times a reason for backslide, or agencies that don't actually live with the people who try and implement nonsense. Um, anyway, I can't get on a tangent. I mean, I could very easily. So they told me this young man that I had done crisis with was needed a place, and so we knew he was going to move in with me, but he didn't know that, and they had me go pick him up in St. Albans, and I showed up basically with like saw basically a young kid on the side of the street with a pile of crap, and this guy just basically said, "Hi, here's a kid, bye," and I left with the young man. Anyway, 14 years later, 15, it was 4 years ago that he moved out, and to me, time has just stopped, and like I'm stuck, like just working and scrambling to survive. My father passed away right at the height of COVID. The young man was manipulated to move out by this new caseworker, new case manager who came on, broke up a bunch of clients and their home care providers, and then moved along basically. And we called her the wrecking ball. And so the wrecking ball came along, convinced this young man to move out, and I was tired of fighting. Even though for 14 years I was the one who went to every meeting. I went to the school and fought for 4 years to get him out of the public school system, when half the time the agencies wouldn't even show up to the meetings, and it would just be me fighting with a bunch of professionals. So it took 2-3 years fighting with them. When we first moved up to the area we relocated to, I was his one-on-one in school, which was immediate like social isolation for him, because they didn't have a one-on-one. They had to legally be in school. Then, on top of that, I also was honest about having legal medical marijuana, which DCF had never encountered. So, one day I get a phone call, and it's the head of licensing with DCF, and they said, no, I went to my agency. It was the head of my agency, and he told us we had to come into the agency. We went in, and he told me that Lucas, I'm not allowed to say the name, whatever, needs to be removed from my home immediately. And I'm like, what? And so he convinced them to let him stay through the weekend. Anyway, the weekend passed. Months passed. Nobody checked in on me. They didn't care about me. They're so broken. So 2 months go by, and I get a phone call from the head of licensing with DCF, and me and the young man are driving to go on a school trip, his first overnight camping trip, and I'm actually going to go sleep there with the school with him, because I basically did anything to make him feel okay. When I got a phone call, and the woman says, "Hi, this is so-and-so from DCF, head of licensing. Can I speak to Trevor Smolin?" I said, "This is him." And they asked me if I still got to see Lucas and how he's doing, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, without batting an eye, I told them that, yeah, of course I get to see him. We're actually on our way to an overnight camping trip. Can I call you back? And she said, "Oh yeah, well, this will be quick. Let me just let you know we've decided to license you." And I'm like, "What?" And she says, "Yeah, we thought he had been removed from your house over 2 months ago and brought to an institution in Connecticut." And I said, "Well, sorry to misinform you, ma'am, but that never happened." "Oh, well, that's good because we've decided to license you." So little did I know, his legal guardian had told one part of the agency, or I don't even know how it happened. Someone told them that he had been moved. Nobody even followed up. Nobody called the agency. Nobody called anyone. They didn't even know where this kid was. So I kidnapped him, I guess, for 2 months, and I didn't eat, I didn't sleep for those months, and basically I've just been fighting with systems ever since. And these systems are I was dealt a shit hand. I'm not a victim. I try hard. I'm still working, even though I'm homeless. I'm dealing with every adversity you can imagine. I had my father's ashes in my glove box to drive here. I left home with a cup of quarters, and recently, and I was told that if I contact this young man, I'm going to get a restraining order put on me. So he moved out. The whole time he's been gone, he's been emailing me, and I don't respond until recently, when I responded and told him that, he kind of turned his back on me when I needed him the most, and I forgive him, but it hurt. And of course, it's probably going to cause waves, any of this stuff, just talking about it, but I don't care. Throw me in jail, whatever, go for it. That's fine. The system's broken. I've watched people who work for these agencies, DCF, mental health agencies, committing Medicaid fraud all day long, and nobody seems to do anything. They're often saying that individuals have higher needs than they do to get more funding. It's a really gross situation. Often, a parent can't get funding. They have to give up their child so they can get funding. It's disgusting. Don't get me started. So, this young man, I confronted him and I said, "Hey, I was reported after you moved out and that hurt me." And he told me that wasn't him. That was his public guardian, against his wishes, reported me. So 15 years of my life just means nothing. Even though this public guardian would sit us down and say, "You don't need me anymore. You guys do so well. Like, I have so many kids." And then COVID hits and she went crazy. Totally lost it. She's probably still his guardian. And here I am with no recourse. I need a lawyer. I would like to sue everyone. I'm done playing these games. They are not good people. They need to be broken apart. DCF, the school systems, everything needs to be revamped. This is a system based on failure. The worse you do, the more funding you get, and especially when it comes to human farming. Don't be a fucking human farmer, you sick fuck.